Hey everyone, please let me know if you can hear me. Just write some comments in the comment section if you can hear me. Okay, great. So welcome to another exciting live stream ahead of Laracon India 2026. My name is Abbas Ali, and I am the founder of Renium Systems and co-organizer of Laracon India. For those who don't know me, I have been in the Laravel game for the past 10, 12 years. I also run Laravel Nagpur meetups, and honestly, Laravel has been feeding my family for the past decade now. Super excited to have some incredible guests with us today. To begin with, I have a kind of sad news. Unfortunately, Freek, who was supposed to join us, is not able to make it. So apologies to everyone who were looking forward to your Freek. Anyway, we have other exciting guests with us. So let's begin. And the first one joining us today are the duo from NativePHP, Simon Hamp and Shane Rosenthal. Hey guys, how
Hello.
are you
Hey.
doing today?
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, great. How are you?
All going good, all going good. So, first off, Simon and Shane, please tell us something about yourself. I mean, what, uh, maybe let's start with how did you guys meet?
It's a,
Cool.
it's a good story. One we don't
Yes.
remember,
Love to
actually.
hear.
So it's kind of funny. Like, actually, good question. Uh, I remember, I don't remember how we first interacted. The first time I remember us interacting, I think Simon was in between jobs. I was working at Pfizer at the time, and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for anything you could spare to help, a GitHub sponsorship sort of thing." And I sent him $20 because I had seen some stuff he had been doing on X, Twitter, I think it was at the time. It could have been X back then. And I think this is probably 2020, 21, something like that. And I think I sent him $20 and that was it. I didn't really
I
know him.
still
And
owe
I
you.
never,
I still owe you.
right. Get me a shirt, I think, in India.
Yeah.
So that was the first
So,
time we interacted, I think. Yeah.
okay. So it all clicked in the first meeting, or it took time for you to come together and become partners, and
Oh
then,
yeah.
s-
Well,
okay,
it's been a few years since then. But we finally actually met in person, I think at Laracon 2024. Was it
24.
23? I think it
It
was
was
24.
Nashville. Which one was that?
Yeah. Oh
Oh, it was
gosh, I don't even
23.
remember.
So it was Denver this past year, and it was Dallas the year before that. So it was Nashville.
yeah,
Okay.
Nashville. It was 2023, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, my
Okay.
memory's
So,
terrible. This is why we can't
And
remember
maybe
any of
I'm
these
wrong.
things.
I mean, I know that was Nashville, but I don't know if we actually met there. Come to think of
Ah,
it, I don't remember.
how often do you guys
I
meet anyway? Do you guys meet
well,
at all in the year, or at just conferences, or how does it go?
in person, not very often at all because we're
Okay.
a whole ocean apart from each other. Um,
Oh, wow.
but right, technically, we meet every day
Every day.
for
Yeah.
a lot of time. So yeah, we
Yeah.
spend a lot of time with each other.
So I believe this is first time for both of you in India,
Yeah.
or have you been to India earlier?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
I
First
was
time.
gonna
Okay.
go to India a few years ago, but it didn't happen for various reasons. And I've been like
Okay.
pining to go and visit because I've heard so many good things about India. And yeah, I just want to see the country. I want to
Definitely. I'm
experience, I want to
sure you're
breathe the
going to
air.
enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure you are going to enjoy here. So, what's one
definitely.
thing you're most excited to experience in India?
Ooh.
You go, Shane.
Let's go one by one.
I've heard a lot of I've heard a lot about the food and the culture.
Okay.
I'm really excited to
Okay.
meet a lot of people that we've been talking to. I'm excited to meet you in person, Vishal, so
Thank
many
you.
other people, and I don't want to start naming them because I know I'll forget somebody and I'll feel horrible about it. But I'm excited to meet a lot of people in person, just to be part of the culture. And I think that's something it's true about me even before even starting development. As a kid, I love to travel. I love to experience, and not just experience things, but like let the place that I'm going to, let the culture make an impression on me that I carry throughout
Mm.
my life, right? So I did some trips when I was younger to Mexico or Guatemala, stuff like that, and they're still part of who I am. So I'm excited to not just go, but to come back and see what my life looks like after experiencing India that way.
Okay. What about
Yeah.
you, Simon?
I mean, the same. I grew up in a part of the UK where there's actually a lot of immigrants from India who live in that region. And sort of been exposed to Indian culture and food and everything from a very young age because of that. Got a lot of friends whose families, are from India, and I feel like an affinity with Indian people already, and I've
Mm.
never experienced that in the country because I've never been to the country, so I'm like excited for that. Obviously the food, I
Yeah.
love Indian food. I love spicy curries. I love
Oh, wow.
rice. And, yeah, no, give it to me all day, every
Do you
day.
get all,
So
do you get Indian food where you live right now in Canary Islands, or
nah, wow,
is it
yeah, but
hard to
it's not
find?
very good. My wife does an incredible job, and she's not Indian, but she does an incredible job
Okay.
of making a curry, but and various other things. But it's just, yeah, there's nothing like the authentic. So I'm really excited for that. Um, but I think probably more than anything is I saw the experience that people have had traveling from like the US and UK and other places to India for Laracon, and seeing like the buzz and the sort of excitement that's come from, we see the videos and the pictures, and it's just like, that looks so cool. I really want to be part
Okay.
of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping that it's a really fun event this year as well. I'm sure it will be.
I want to add to
Yeah.
that too. So I live in the United States. I live in South Carolina is the state I live in. My town is called Indian Land. When I moved here
Wow.
almost 10 years ago, there was a very low population. In the last, I think, 5 years or so, it's more than quadrupled in population. And there's a lot of people from India living in Indian land. I think they were like,
Okay.
let's go to Indian land and there are a lot of like Indian stores, like grocery stores and Indian restaurants popping up. I haven't
Okay.
visited much yet, but I should before maybe practice some of the food and see if I can
Have you
compare.
tried anything yet or not? Have you tried any Indian
No, I
food at
mean,
all?
I don't know what to order or what not to order. I don't know, one
Okay.
thing versus the other, but I could just go and
It's
ask
all
for.
good. It's all
Yeah, I
good.
figured it's all good. I did get some butter chicken from Costco the other day just to
Wow.
have something to compare to, but it's Costco.
Sure. And Shin, I somewhere I read that you fly planes as well. You fly
Not in
planes as
about
well?
a year, but yeah, I got my pilot license in 2021, and then
Okay.
I got my what's it called? I see it's been too long. My instrument rating, so I can fly, without looking out the window at all. About a year after that. So yeah.
So was it just as a hobby, or you were farsighted and you knew that AI is coming and I should look for a different career as well?
A little bit of both. So at the time, actually, it was during COVID, and I was like, it was scary to fly for a while, and I was like, if the zombie apocalypse comes, I want to know how to get my family to an island someplace, right? And so I mean, it was really a hobby. It actually was like a long forgotten hobby of mine. So I remember back when I was a kid, I would get on flight simulators and stuff, and I just really loved the experience of that. And one of my son's friends, his dad is just a hobby pilot. He has a plane, and he took us up a couple times. And I think it was one of the last times he took us up. He was like, "Do you want to steer? Do you want to fly around a little. I'm like, okay.
So cool.
And so I did that for like maybe half an hour, and like they say, the bug bit me, and I was obsessed. And so I started doing the ground school for about a year. I just like really studied and learned a lot without taking any lessons, and then started taking lessons, and it took me a few months, and then I got my license. And but it's been about a year since starting with native PHP. I haven't flown. I should, but I've been just very busy with work.
Yeah.
So
Now that you mentioned native PHP, so let's talk about it. So who amongst you is going to tell me the origins of native PHP?
oh, Simon, for sure. This is all you.
Uh, the origin, I was a baby. No.
I'll start with my mother's
um,
mother.
yeah.
I believe you first targeted only desktop applications, correct?
Yeah, that's right. It kind of started as an idea when I was working for a company that, my last kind of proper employment some 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a bit more than that. And basically, it was just like, I want to be able to build desktop solutions because we were trying to solve a whole bunch of different problems for hardware and things that we were working with. And I wanted to be able to build, I was the only software engineer on the team at the time, and I wanted to be able to build these pieces of software just in the tools that I already knew, PHP, Laravel. And I could see like, there was a data scientist on the team, a really, really smart guy named Jack, who I'm still very good friends with. And he was using Python, and there's all these Python tools for like spinning up desktop applications, and it was great. Like, he was moving very quickly. I was just like, this is really unfair. PHP is a very good language, and it keeps getting better, and I want to be able to do that too. Unfortunately, because of the job and just being super busy with all of that for many years, I didn't have the time to do it. But when I left that position at the end of 2022, I had some time. And so I was like, okay, now I'm going to explore this idea that I had years before, and I'm going to see if I can bring it to something. And I did. And, I did the Aaron Francis thing. I told people, and I put it on Twitter, and a few people noticed. One of them was Marcel Poziot, who basically reached out immediately and was like, let's try and make this into something, and then it went from there. So that's the beginning.
Okay. And for let's say you were coming from a web development background, so how hard or easy was it for you to understand the mobile concepts, how to build a mobile application and things like that? And not just the concepts of to understand those things, but to build native PHP to make mobile apps. So that's, I mean, a completely different ball game.
I mean, yeah, fast forwarding to the mobile stuff, which really only came around the end of 2024. I mean, I would say I still don't understand. I know enough to be dangerous. I think that's the answer to that. But the thing is, like, we're living in this age now where AI helped a lot in learning all of that stuff. So we didn't have Claude Code Opus 4.5. It wasn't building all of this stuff for us. But what I was able to do with whatever was available at the time, I was using ChatGPT, for something, and just questioning it and trying to figure this stuff out. And I was thinking about I'm in this real edge case of all of these different spheres, that are, they don't really overlap at all on the internet. There's no content on the internet that talks about PHP being compiled for iOS or for Android, because nobody does it. So what you have to do is like do what you do as a programmer. You kind of borrow that information from there, you learn that from there, and you bring it together in your head. The thing is, with the disparate things, disparate topics like that, finding the material is the really hard part. And I Googled for months and months and months trying to find solutions to these various problems. But with the advent of AI, it just made it so much faster to learn, like to bring all of that information together into one place. And in a sense, it kind of outsourced some of the thinking part. I was able to just ask it questions, and it sort of brought the concepts together for me. And it wasn't great. Like, it didn't just, as I say, write the code and hey presto, it worked. But I still have a brain. I worked with the computer's brain, and we worked together, and we figured out how to make it work for iOS. And then I think Shane did something very similar for Android at the same time.
So at any point in your, earlier when you were building native PHP, at any point did you find it? Did you think that, okay, it's not working, it's not moving forward? And if it happened, then what did you do to overcome that?
Every day.
Yeah, every single day.
It is challenging.
Yeah. There's a lot of roadblocks. Like, I think the first ones are technical ones, right? Where you're trying to make something work, and it just doesn't, and you sort of crash into this wall, and you've got to sort of picking things apart, trying to understand all of the pieces. And the more of the problems that you bump into, and the harder it is to find the little nuggets of information that you need to, try it another way, just try it again, or like delete the cache and just try it again, is that then becomes like a psychological barrier where you go, I don't know if it's even worth it. So you end up sort of getting in your own way about a lot of those things. And so I found actually now the technical hurdle is almost completely gone, right? The AI and the information that we've got means that almost all of those technical hurdles for stuff that's well known is disappeared. But there's still this hurdle of, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm smart enough. Imposter syndrome kind of things. And when I do bump into problems, I don't think I can solve this. And really, it just comes down to persistence. You just have to remember that you've been doing this for however many years you've been doing it, and you are good at it. That's why you're still doing it. And you will find the answer. You will get through. You will cross that threshold, or leap that boundary, and then you'll be on to the next problem. You just don't, there's always another one of those in front of you. So I'm always like reminding myself, it's like, yeah, it seems bad right now. The next one's going to be even harder, but I'm going to get through that one as well. So like psychologically just kind of prepped for everything that's coming.
Yeah, there are always challenges, and you should just keep moving forward. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Now, coming on to Shane now, I believe. So Shane, let's talk a bit about Bifrost. So if I'm not mistaken, you hit $200,000 in 6 months, correct? That's what I read or heard somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
So what do you think devs are hungry for this? First, a lot of people, they don't know the distinction between native PHP and Bifrost. So can you just explain us what is Bifrost and what is native PHP?
Thank you for yes, that's actually we get this a lot, and thanks for having an opportunity to tell everybody the difference. When we first started building this out, actually before I was actually really involved with it, Simon was accepted. His talk was accepted for Laracon EU, and we had a podcast together. We were just friends at the time. We weren't really, there's no like professional necessarily relationship. And I was very excited about the idea of mobile since 2023. Laracon, when Marcel gave the talk about native PHP, I thought it was mobile. And so I was excited immediately with that. And so I was like, let's go, and but that's not what it was. So Simon and I got close, and we started the podcast with another friend of ours, Stephen Fox. And that when that talk was accepted, I spent more time with him because I was very excited about the whole concept and idea. And I was like, this has to be something that you charge for, because people are going to make money doing this. You're opening up the whole door to PHP developers, millions of PHP developers that can't build mobile applications without learning something new. Now, again, this was before you could do some of these things with, AI, et cetera. But still, the concept was new. And if you're learning Laravel, what more of like, it's just another way to bring more people into the ecosystem of Laravel, right? Because it's just not just web and like the whole everything that's already there, right? We have Cashier and we have Socialite and we have all of Horizon and like all of these things that are built in. We can leverage that as just adds more benefit to, if we can put this technology on other platforms, then let's figure that out. So I talked to Simon from the very beginning. Unbeknownst to me, he already had the same thought, but I was like, it's good to have this as like a licensable item that you can sell, but the competitors are, they're free. And so I think like the best way to actually monetize on this, because we need money. Our landlords need money. We have to pay our bills.
Definitely.
Don't age it.
More than full time. And it deserves that kind of attention. We believe it deserves that kind of attention because it is pretty revolutionary. But the concept, and we talked about this before I was ever really involved with it, was like there should be a build service. There should be a way, this is even for desktop, like there should be a way to like kind of like Forge, kind of like Cloud, right? Like a way to get this, to ease that burden of like, how do I deploy this out to whatever? How do I manage that within my team and all of that? So the idea was there from the very beginning, before I think mobile was ever even a thought, in some regards, to have a service that will facilitate taking your Laravel code and getting it onto the app stores, or distributing a Windows or Mac or Linux application easily, so that people can just manage their teams, manage their flow. So native PHP mobile version 1 came out May 2nd of 2025. I think for maybe a month or so, there were some bugs that we were chasing and just some optimizations that we wanted to get to, and kind of not testing in the wild, but, like getting a lot more user feedback and letting that kind of drive for a bit. And we still operate that same way. I think it was within a month, 2 months after that, I just kind of went full force into, actually it was Simon was in, he did a talk at Laravel Live UK, and the week or two leading up to that, I had a proof of concept of like an over-the-air update, at least like seeing how that could kind of work. And that started me, like he demoed like a little video I made on stage at the very end. And that was the beginning of what is Bifrost. So Bifrost is the company's name, and it's also our flagship product. It's what we want to lead the way forward for our company. Eventually, we want everything to just like all revenue would be done mostly through Bifrost, which is the build. So native PHP is an application. It's how you're going to build everything. It's just like Laravel, right? And then Bifrost is just like Forge or Cloud. That's how you're going to manage that distribution. Now, we also get the question, well, I have to use Bifrost to build my applications. Absolutely not. In fact, Bifrost uses commands that are inside native PHP under the hood. And that was something like, that's just part of the community. That's part of our heart. Like we want to give. We don't want to tie anyone down to anything, of course, and force people to pay us. That being said, everybody that comes in to buy it, we very much appreciate that, because that's where we're making money to pay our bills to keep working on this stuff. But I think that some of the things that even if you use some of the commands yourself, that you're gonna miss out on are things like over-the-air updates, which we're working on. Actually, as soon as we get back from India, that's one of the things we're working on right away. Just managing the pipeline of like, who deployed, what branch did you deploy, what version was tagged, did that go to Android, did it go to iOS, did it go to both, did it go to testing, did it, all of these things. If you're on a team, you need to have this context. And if you're just running a command to deploy just from your computer, that's fine for like the solo dev. But when there's more people, and it's a little bit, if you're making money, especially on your app, or if it's part of your company's architecture or something like that, you need a little bit more, it's got to be a little bit more pay attention to these things, right? And so that's where we're putting a lot of our eggs are going into the Bifrost product basket for sure.
Okay. And how did you come up with the name Bifrost? Is it because there are two people behind it, or what?
No. So I Simon came up with the name Bifrost. I came up with a concept. So Bifrost is the bridge. So if you've ever seen Marvel movies, so the like Thor or something, the Bifrost bridge is the bridge from Asgard to Midgard, from heaven to earth, right? And so I was at the time, we were coding things. We were talking about building a company. I was still like trying to figure out how to compile PHP for Android. And a lot of my class names had bridge in it because we're bridging things from PHP to Android. And there's a lot of bridge. I just kept seeing bridges, bridge. Everything was a bridge. And like, then it was like, metaphorically, we are bridging PHP to Android, iOS, mobile, ultimately, right? And like everything we're doing is bridging these two worlds. We're making that bridge between two huge concepts. And so I gave that to Simon, and then a couple of days later, he's like, "How about Bifrost?" And immediately I was like, "Yep, that's the one." And we registered the LLC, I think that day or the next day, and we probably slept on it maybe one night or didn't have time to get to it right away. But
I haven't slept since January.
Yep.
Okay. Before we move forward, just a note for our audience. We'll be taking up questions towards the end of the stream. All righty. Now is the time to bring in my co-host. Everyone, please welcome Richard Patel.
Hey.
Am I visible?
You are visible, Richard.
Where?
We can see you through the.
How are you all? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. How are
you? Guys, the two guys behind the revolutionary idea in the PHP, the native PHP. Amazing vision product, we can say that. So hope you are doing good and very excited for the Laracon India, because this is first time for you and you both love the spicy food, then definitely you will like it.
I'm not.
You enjoy
really.
it.
That's Simon.
Come on.
I'll try.
We'll get him. Come on,
I'll try,
we'll get him, guys.
and I'll cry. That's what I'll do.
Okay. So I have one very important question for both of you. This is really important to get to know all the audience that what was the moment then both of you decided, okay, this is the right time. Let's roll out the native PHP. What exactly that moment was?
Wow. So I think when I started doing some of the exploration onto iOS, I was posting about it, and the reaction to what I was sharing was overwhelmingly positive. And I knew then, I mean, this is like December, maybe 2024 or January 2025. I knew then that it was going to be like, oh, I just need to get this out. But you know, Shane came to me, I think after my Laracon EU talk, and we were talking about like maybe getting to V1, and I'm like, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna have time. I'm doing client work, and you know, it's just iOS, and he said to me, I've got something to tell you. I've been working on Android. And I was like, what? We haven't, you know, like, again, going back, we were just friends. Like we didn't have an arrangement together. I didn't say to him, please, can you work on Android or anything like that. He just came to me and said, I've been doing it, and I'm figuring it out. And then he started sending me screenshots and videos of all the bits that he was doing. And I was just like, dude, this is crazy. Like we have to bring this together somehow. Let's like work something out. Let's figure that out. And it came to the point where we were like, this is going to work. You know, we're now going to have this tool that works for both the major phone platforms, like most people care about. And now we just need to get it sort of cohesive enough to release as a single thing at one time, rather than trying to do it piecemeal. So it was then like, how much time do we need actually to just get this into a good shape. And we took, you know, because I was working for clients, and Shane was also working for clients. You know, we're like, we haven't really got the time, and we're just squirreling away the hours. You know, we haven't slept. But it was, yeah, let's aim for, you know, April, May, and that's when we just kind of said, okay, we've got to do it. It's got to be as soon as possible, and that was it. So set the date, commit to it, and get it done. That's what we did.
That's amazing. That's amazing story. Very inspiring. Yeah. One more like a fun banter question for both of you: that are you competing the Electron?
Are we doing
Electron
what?
JS? Are you guys
Are we
competing the Electron JS?
are we competing with Electron? I mean, the desktop side uses Electron, so
Yeah.
in that sense, not really, because, you know, we depend upon Electron. I think for the desktop side, should you use Electron or native PHP? I think that depends on which technology you're more familiar with. So
Yes.
if you're happier using JavaScript and just using JavaScript, that's fine. You know, Electron's going to be good for you. But if you really enjoy using Laravel and you want to use PHP for like dealing with the back end, let's say, of those applications, then native PHP is a good option for you. But Electron really only covers the desktop side. Mobile is
That's true.
completely different. So yeah, mobile doesn't use anything like Electron. It's all the custom built shell applications that we have, that we've built in Swift and Kotlin. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to
That's
add
great.
to that too. I think
Yeah.
that and I remind myself about this every once in a while. We look at things like React Native, we look at things like Flutter. I think those are more competitive for us because those are technologies that you can write code one time and compile for multiple cross compilation, right?
Yeah.
And I would say that our biggest competitors are ourselves, because we're challenging ourselves to just break forward and reach new ground with something that's never existed before. Simon and I did kind of a deep dive a couple months ago into PHP and PHP operating on a device. And we got to a very microscopic look at some things that we're excited to work on. We have a lot of work to get to where we can work on this, but a way to like share memory space is, if you're familiar with React Native, the JSI architecture, a way that they kind of boot up a JavaScript VM, and then that VM shares memory with C++. And what's interesting is that we learned that, number one, PHP is a C language. So we don't have to necessarily boot a VM in order to achieve that same sort of principle. Additionally, I mean, we can just carve out, because we have a PHP extension in our compiled PHP versions where we can declare shared memory place. And so we just then tell C++ or C on the device. This is getting a little technical, I understand, but I'm going somewhere with it. So long story short, we are not really competing with anybody but ourselves, number one. Number two, React Native only has become native in the last couple of years, 2 to 3 years, that it's been like fully native stuff. And that's something that we're going to be going in more depth with. However, if you look at ecosystems, we're built completely around the Laravel ecosystem. Like I said, Socialite, Cashier, Horizon, all of the tooling, all of the YouTube videos over the last 15 years almost, that all of the courses, all of the Laravel daily sites, and all of that stuff still applies now to mobile development. So in some regards, we're way ahead of some of these other technologies, because we're leveraging such a big community, such a large set of resources that you just immediately have access to, and we didn't have to do any of that. We're just leveraging it into our product.
That's great. And what excites you most personally about the future of the native PHP, like right now, both of you?
I'm mostly excited. I'm excited to. We have some work to do in Bifrost. I'm excited to build that out. There's some features that we want to build into that are going to make that really a better and better and better product. Over the air updates are going to be huge. Automated workflows. So right now you have to, like, if you want to ship a new builds, you say ship it, and then you have to put your version in, and you have to say it's this for Android, and I want to use this set of credentials and all of that stuff. And like every single time you have to you build, you want to do that. If it fails, you have to go and download the logs and read through the logs and try to see what happened. You can see them in real time too. I would love for AI to crawl those logs if something failed and just offer some suggestions, automatically fix it for you. I want to build some automated workflows so that you as a user can define like your triggers and your actions that happen. So if I push to this branch, then it's going to automatically deploy to a testing track on Android, or if I tag a new release, it's going to push to production on both. We want to simplify all of the all of the work that you have to do for credentials. There's ways that we can leverage the APIs a little bit more intelligently so that you don't really have to do a lot of work to just create your sign-in credentials, your certificates, your mobile provisioning profiles, your JKS files for Android. And it's like, we have to get through that stuff. It's going to be fun to get to where I'm most excited, and Simon's fully aware. Like, I really want to get to this place where we can do the shared memory stuff and start building out actual native components and fully render a native app. So right now we're working with a web view for a lot of things, not for everything. There's a lot of native stuff that we built in our latest version, but building fully native apps, I want to compete. Like you said, directly with Flutter and React Native, and beyond that.
That's amazing. We are looking forward to see that everything we will be done in PHP using the Laravel and the native PHP. We don't need to go outside for other technology. I'm sure in future, even if we want to create a web application and mobile for native PHP, that's it, done. Completely ecosystem of the Laravel. We can see that. Yeah. One last thing you have to do, Shen and Simon, like you both have a similarity in your hobbies. You are best guitarist, as far as I know. Can you please play some guitar tone?
Simon,
I can see the guitar in your background.
Yeah.
Where?
This side, this side, this side,
seriously?
Come on, Shane.
Come on, yeah.
I'm not going to sing though. Simon, you sing. What do you want to hear?
Let's go with Californication.
Yeah.
How about the other California?
Wow.
I don't know any of the words.
Oh, that's wrong.
Wait.
I forget that too. My fingers are cold. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It would be great if you can bring this to India. Yeah. Okay, so that's it from my end. Thank you so much, Shen and Simon. Looking forward to see you in India, and we'll definitely enjoy a lot. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You. So, Simon and Shane, before we move forward, let's talk about your Laracon India talk. So, what will be it about? What will it be about? And can you tell us something without revealing too much, of course?
We're just going to play guitar, actually. That's all that.
We've already done basically everything we're going to talk about in this stream. So, we've got a few things that, I mean, we've been talking about some of these over the last few weeks, and we do our own live stream on YouTube every week. We try and do it every week. So we've been sort of teasing some of this stuff and trying it out. But the main thing that we've been really pulling towards in native PHP for the last few months is the ability, or like enabling developers to build their own custom functionality into the shell applications. Because right now whilst it's possible for you to do that, like you can go and write some Swift and some Kotlin and you can put that in place, the whole way that the build sort of pipeline within native PHP works means that it's very brittle. You know, like your custom code could get blown away, or if you can't really upgrade your version of native PHP once you've got custom code in there. So it just becomes a really tricky to manage. And, you know, months ago, we were talking about how we might break it out so that you could have essentially plugins. So you could introduce like your custom code or third-party code in a completely safe way that wasn't so brittle. And Shane really, I mean, he kind of took up the mantle and just went for it, and has broken the back of making that work. So, you know, after a lot of discussion and figuring out like what's the right approach, we've come up with something we think is really, really elegant. And we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail next week. So I'm not going to cover too much of that. But I don't know,
Sure.
Shane, is there anything about that you think you want to talk about right now?
All right. Yes. I will tell you, I have been excited about a lot of things. It's hard for me not to be excited. That's why I don't sleep. That's why my eyes look like this, right? I struggle to find a time when I was more excited than I am about plugins and what that's going to do for the entire ecosystem and everything that we're doing. Just as an example, plugins are for a couple of reasons, and we'll address more of these on stage. The reasons behind why we're doing this and what it actually does. I've been beta testing with a few users in our Discord. We have, if you go to nativephp.com, scroll to the bottom, click the Discord icon. That's the easiest way that I remember how to do it. Join our Discord. We have got several hundred people in there asking questions. People are helping people. It's a really cool ecosystem. It's just an extension of the Laravel community for mobile, right? There's a few people in there that I've let beta test building their own plugins. The things that they come up with, I'll just tell you. All right. When I was starting building like custom plugins, I started with, and you can go to my at Shane D. Rosenthal, that's on X. You can go to that and scroll through like media and see some videos that I posted. Things like face detection, things like bringing in a local model and hooking it up to a live camera feed, and it will detect like laptop and couch, and it's trained on like 100 different things. Not a very a big amount of ideas and concepts there, but just scanning my house, and it was like couch and potato and cat and, you know, stuff like that, which is really cool.
Why have you got a potato on your couch?
I actually didn't. I just made that up. I don't know why my brain went to potato. It'd be funny. It wasn't a potato at all. I won't tell you what it was. So a couple of the guys in the community, I've given them access to doing this. And one guy, he's working for his company. He's making an app for something to do with like nature trails or something like that. So he wanted to bring Mapbox SDK in. And so he's looking at like web technologies, like the web, you know, JavaScript ways of doing it. I'm like, you don't need that. You can use iOS CocoaPods or SPM, the Swift project manager, or just a Gradle implementation on Android side, and read through those docs and implement it that way. And so within a couple hours, he had a proof of concept working with the Mapbox SDK. I was like, cool. Then he yelled at me the next day and he was like, man, I'm supposed to go skiing on the weekend. It was Saturday. He's like, I cannot stop working on this. And he built like 3 or 4 more plugins. One was like selecting an image from his gallery, and then he's like drawing stuff on it, and it's like interpreting it, and he's storing that someplace and emailing it to friends all from, and I'm like, I never thought of any of this. I think the most interesting one for me though, well, I did an augmented reality one. If you go to my X account, that was really cool. That was like a one shot. I have a Claude Code plugin that helps me write these things. There's a guy, his name's Logan Kraft. If you know him, you know him. He's gone to like a bunch of Laracon US and a lot of other meetups. He's been very active in the whole Laravel ecosystem for a long time. He is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He's at the beach right now for a couple months. Okay. And I gave him access to building plugin. And he was like, I would love if I can just walk up and down the beach and search for shark teeth and have like some AI something, you know, with my camera on my phone finding shark teeth. The next day, he sent me a screenshot. There's a green box around a shark's tooth laying in the sand. And then it gives it 82%. It's some Capernaciasis or whatever, like whatever the Latin name of that shark was. And he's like, this is amazing. I was like, he's like, I love plugins. This unlocks everything. So I'm very excited, not just for the unlock and the ability and like all the performance that you're going to gain from doing this, but to see what the community really starts to build. And that takes a lot off of our plates, right? So now we're not, our community tells us we want Bluetooth and we want that. And so it's like, it's more time we have to put into the product to make it better and better. This unlocks all of that. Let the community build things out. We're going to build some of our own too. We're going to have like official ones ourselves, but, letting people kind of drive that forward and they can share between each other or however, is going to be, it's going to free up more time for us to spend on the core project, right? To do some of that shared memory and the native and Bifrost and all of that stuff. So I'm very, very, if you can't tell, I'm very excited about plugins. I can't wait to show you guys.
We can see that from your face, Shane. Both of you actually, Simon and Shane.
It's cool. And there's much more. You will not want to. If you have any ability to make it to Laracon India, please come. You will not be sad that you did so. There's a lot more.
Sure. And before we move on to the next section, do you guys have anything else to share about your work, NativePHP or Bifrost?
There's so many things that we could, we're talking about things today that's going to happen in months from now, and we're planning for the business for the future and all of this kind of stuff. But just focusing on like some of that stuff that's coming next week, and like the era that we find ourselves in right now, we're in a really lazy time for developers. We've got it good. If you've got access to AI tools, you can build things very, very quickly. And the thing, as Shane's been saying throughout this, our focus is on Bifrost at the core sort of service that we can offer for this whole thing. And it really is, that is going to unlock with the stuff that we're going to reveal next week. Some of it you might know if you've been following along. It's a full end-to-end cycle for building applications in a way that there's only one or two other ecosystems in all of the other tooling that's available that are doing what we're going to be capable of doing. And we've pulled that together in next to no time. So, these last few months, we've been really going full tilt. It's just been the two of us for the most part. And it's
three.
Just,
count Claude
exactly.
in there. Right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming, and it's going to make building mobile apps, building desktop apps, and dare I say, even building Laravel apps even more fun.
Great, Simon. Okay, so let's move on and take some audience questions. Let's begin with Kaneko. So do you have some kind of challenge or friendly battle between you two for iOS versus Android?
Ooh.
To see who finishes another API for a mobile feature first.
No, I mean, so especially now with plugins, no. We do, maybe there's a little bit actually. So like I'll go off sometimes and spend a weekend and what did I do? I started playing with something that was like,
he steals my ideas. That's what he does.
No. Not this one. I know this one. So I did discover like one thing that we want to get to, there's probably questions in the chat about this, and we're going to get asked this a lot. So I may as well just like one of the elephants in the room, right? Background tasks. Okay. This is not something that's built in right now into NativePHP. It's something that we want to get to. This is another reason why plugins are going to really facilitate giving us more time so we can do some of these things. So just a very simple, small example, background tasks are if your app is like backgrounded, if it's not even up, you want some service on the device listening for when something happens, you want to respond to it. And so when you respond to that from Laravel, you have to boot up PHP, and there's like a whole mess of things there, and it's multi-threading possibly, and we want to use like native queue facades and all this kind of stuff that you want to interface with. And I did take some time and really went into it. iOS has some strict limitations on how long you can let any background task kind of run for. Android does not. So we initially were very much, I'm the Android guy, he's the iOS guy. We got to a place where it's like we are native PHP guys, both of us, and we're both working on these things. And so I'll go off and I'll discover something that we both can benefit from, bring it back and share him within the information, and his face and like, what, you know, he does this, what, oh my God. And then he comes back with something else. And I'm like, what did you do? What is this? Like, he even shocked me with something today that's not even related to native PHP. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're just like always, it's a friendly, yes, competition kind of. When I first started learning guitar, my brother-in-law was also learning guitar. I would go home and write, you know, or learn 3 songs. He would learn 3 songs, and we'd get jealous of each other. By the end of a year, we'd learn like 300 songs. And so we both won. And that's like, it's a very fun, if it's not exciting, if we're not on the same page about something, we'll argue about it until we get the right end. We don't argue, but not in a negative way. We'll just figure out the right path forward, the very Laravel developer experience first mentality through everything. And it's such a fun company to be part of.
Yeah. So I would say you both are complementing each other and learning from each other all the time.
Very much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a great word.
So with native PHP and Bifrost, are you trying to make mobile expert obsolete for artisans? Do you see a future where agencies stop hiring different devs entirely and just hire generalist artisans? Is that something in your mind, or I mean, what do you think about it?
I mean, I really like the idea that you know, I'll say just a Laravel developer could become, you know, a mobile focused developer, because these, you know, web as a domain is massive. Mobile as a domain is massive. You can just get lost in just those things. I think Laravel has taught us, you know, by using Laravel, we've taught ourselves that we can do more, because the layers of abstraction of the tools and everything around it, the ecosystem and the community, mean that, you know, we can achieve more with less. And I think that does lead us to the, you know, maybe I can do all of these things. And now we've got AI as well. It's like, yeah, you know, one person, a generalist with enough skills can do all of this stuff. And I think that's true. But I wouldn't say like trying to make mobile experts obsolete, because I think that some people will just really enjoy using Laravel and PHP to build mobile applications, and they'll want to focus on doing that and doing it really, really well. And, you know, when we've got this, as Shane said, you know, we're doing fully native UIs and we've got all these background things, you know, and kind of multi-threading and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be like you're building with the actual native mobile platform languages themselves, and you're able to do all of that stuff, and they are vast. There's a lot of things that you can do with them. So, you know, we'll be exposing all of that through PHP. So it will be a very deep domain on its own.
I think and just quickly on that, I think that there's an underlying tone inside of me someplace that makes, I want Laravel developers to be the most desired hire, right? So we're unlocking more and more things so that people say, oh, you're a Laravel developer and you have 7 years experience or whatever. They know that you can translate that knowledge into web, into desktop, and into mobile as well. And who knows, watch and TV and car and all that stuff too. So I think there's a great level there of like making the Laravel developer a stronger hire, right?
Yeah. I mean, if someone is working in a corporate environment, it always happens that one technology or one domain is your forte, then some requirements come in wherein the client comes in, and then let's say your manager, they ask you to, okay, now shift from web to mobile. And at that point of time, rather than learning an entirely new technology, you can just use Laravel and get the thing done. Something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So next we have this. What's the criticism of native PHP that you secretly agree with?
If we told you, it
I,
wouldn't be a secret.
yeah, good question.
Criticism of native PHP.
You have to disclose the secret now.
I mean, I've got one straight off the top of my head, which
Yeah.
I can fight both sides of this to, I'm blue in the face, but the name, which a lot of
Okay.
people have complained about to
Yeah.
me, saying, "Oh, it's not really native," and you know what? You're right, it isn't.
See, I think
But
it is. I go on the
the
other
thing
side
is,
of it.
I'll say it wasn't. It definitely is getting more and more native all of the time. So, but
Define native.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm not going to get into that. We'll end
I
up in
know.
a massive debate.
That's
But
one that we.
I
Yeah.
fully I hear that message. Like I get the purist philosophy of like what native actually is. And I do agree with, people have come with some very strong arguments, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right, but we're still going to call it native PHP, and we're going to make it more native all of the time. So that's how it is.
Okay. Okay, so next up, just a couple of more questions. How will Laravel adapt the mobile trend of local first storage and offline sync? I mean,
Perfectly.
Laravel, I believe
Mhm.
Ronak meant native PHP.
Yeah, this was something that we spent a little bit of time in a couple months ago. Number one, it's already local first. So we ship with a SQLite database. So you can use models, you can use Eloquent ORM, you can use all the querying that you're already doing against a local SQLite database. So you can that's already local first storage. We also give you a bunch of different facades and methods to store images or any kind of files you can think of. They can be stored inside of the application itself. Offline sync was something that we added. It's not directly there, and that's something that I think that the community will probably do with a plugin and make it a little bit easier. Offline sync, right now you can just put a column in your database of like last synced at, right? Hook up your API, and if it's gone to the API and you can verify that it's synced up externally, then you can update that field. Then you can just, like, every time the app opens, query for everything that's not synced yet, where that's null, like a last synced at is nullable, a nullable field, and then just attempt to synchronize again. We also gave a network facade, so you can determine if you're on Wi-Fi, if you're on cellular. iOS has a couple other methods to determine, like, if you're on a high cost or low cost network, if you're roaming essentially, or if you're not roaming. And so we give you access to all those things so you can determine the right time for your application to synchronize data.
And
Okay.
I'll like to add to that, because that whole topic is something that I've been interested in for a really, really long time. I've actually been building a solution to this that makes
What?
oops, another thing. It basically makes an API look like a database driver, so you can, and then it uses the local database, like the local SQLite database, as a kind of temporary cache, a sync store, so you would address the local database essentially, but then you're also addressing the API, and it will keep the two in sync, like with eventual consistency. It's not, I mean, it's kind of row level stuff. We're not talking about these hyper real time, multiplayer apps or anything like that, where there's all these complex data types being used. But
Yeah.
for like the 80% use case, it would be like you just use Eloquent and it just works.
Yeah. Okay. I think from the audience, that's all we are going to take for now, as we are running short on time. And before we wrap up, I have a quick fun activity to do, if you guys are
Cool.
up for it.
Yeah.
So it will be a rapid fire questions, even though it won't be as rapid as it should have been. So let's start. Who is up for it first? Simon or Shane?
I want to make Simon do it.
Simon.
I'm terrible at these
Okay.
things, so let's get it over with.
I want you to do it.
I only have a few prepared, so let's see. Tabs or spaces?
Spaces.
PHP Storm or VS Code?
PHP Storm.
You're taking too much time, Simon. You're thinking a lot.
No.
You need to just say one word. Okay.
I'm saying it as soon as I'm hearing it, so I think there might be just some delay.
Okay. I think there's a lag there. Sorry. Okay.
That's right.
REST or GraphQL?
Rest.
Livewire or Inertia?
Livewire.
Git merge or Git rebase?
Git rebase. These are
Morning
good.
coder or night owl?
Night owl. 100%.
Okay. Monolith or microservices?
Monolith.
Okay. Docker or bare metal?
Bare metal. Yeah.
Mac or Windows for development?
Or Mac. Mac every day of the
course.
week. Yeah.
Don't ask me that question. I'll have some choice words for you.
Okay, let's move to Shane now.
Oh no. I asked for it.
Okay. Ready, Shane?
Yep.
Terminal or GUI?
GUI. It depends. It depends.
Come on.
Yeah.
I like terminal though too. Yeah.
PHP unit or PEST?
Pest.
Self-hosted or SaaS?
Oh. I'm changing my mind on this stuff. That's a hard one. I'm gonna go SaaS.
Dark mode or light mode?
Dark, always.
Okay. Tailwind or Bootstrap?
Tailwind.
Code comments. Too many or too few?
No, I like comments in code. So the more the merrier.
Okay. Android or iOS as a user?
iOS.
Then
Why didn't I
Forge
get
or
that one?
Cloud?
Say again.
You can answer as well, Simon.
I didn't hear it.
Uh,
Forge or Cloud?
Laravel Forge or Laravel Cloud?
I am falling in love with Cloud more and more every time I use it. I've been on Forge since early days. I'm still grandfathered. Don't tell Taylor. I pay like $10 a month still. But I'm falling more and more in love with Cloud. It's great.
Okay. Email or Slack for team communication?
Telegram.
Telegram. Wow.
That wasn't one of the
Okay.
options.
I don't like Slack.
So
I don't like email.
now one round of this or that, and I'll both of you have to answer it. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Okay. Tea.
Coffee.
Mountains or beaches?
Beaches.
Ooh, beaches. Beaches.
Pizza or burgers?
I like mountains too. I live right between both.
Pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Depends on the day. I'm gonna say
I'm
burgers just to
winning.
keep it balanced, you know.
I'm winning.
Okay. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
I watch YouTube all the time. I like Netflix, but I watch YouTube all the time.
Okay. Books or podcasts?
Books.
Podcasts.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Summer. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking at conferences or attending them?
Attending.
I haven't spoken enough to really. I'm gonna say speaking. I like the thrill. I like preparing for it. I like putting stuff together and thinking through things. But I love having time to spend with people as well. And I think you
Yeah.
can do both if you're speaking. Yeah.
Okay. Now the last round, one by one. So I'll begin this with Simon first, if you don't mind. You have to fill in the blanks, Simon. Okay.
Okay.
The hardest part of building native PHP was
Working with Shane.
before PHP, I was into
uh, Cats? I don't know.
okay. The best thing about Laravel community is
The people.
absolutely. And my favorite non-coding hobby is
Sleeping.
Peace.
the first ever app I built was
Oh, the first ever app. Some basic game in Basic. Yep.
okay. And my go-to productivity tool is
Apple Notes. Yeah.
okay. Now it's Shane's turn. Let me pull him up.
I'm so scared right now.
Okay, Shane, nothing to scare about. So, flying taught me dash about coding.
Flying?
Taught me dash fill in the blanks about coding.
More focus on security.
Good answer. The scariest moment building Bifrost was
Trying to meet deadlines, maybe.
okay.
Can I rephrase that a little bit?
Sure.
All right.
Go
So not to go too deep into it, but we did pre-sales on things. And so we felt a very serious sense of urgency to get something shipped in good quality at the same time because people had already given us money. So that was made for some very
Okay.
late nights.
Okay. I believe you have a son, Shane, right?
I do.
Yeah. So my son thinks I dash.
Like for my career, he knows exactly what I do.
For anything,
He
I mean,
thinks
whatever comes to your mind. Whatever comes to your
uh
mind. My son thinks
lately
I
he thinks I'm too, I don't know. He's 16 and he doesn't even like want to talk to me for whatever reason. He has no reason for it. So, which is really funny. Makes for interesting dinner conversations. He thinks
okay.
I am a goofball.
Okay. If I could collaborate with anyone apart from Simon, it would be
Dead or alive?
anyone.
Michael Jordan.
Wow.
He's not dead.
He's dead or alive. I thought Michael Jackson, but I think Michael Jordan. He's an interesting character.
And the best decision I made in 2025 was
In 2025 to start Bifrost Technology LLC. Yeah, for sure.
and the last one, Shane. My favorite thing about South Carolina is
I think proximity to beaches and mountains. Actually, it's about 2 hours to either one.
okay. Okay, I think that's all I had for tonight. And actually, we have crossed 1 hour mark, so apologies for extending this beyond the stipulated time. Anyways, before we wrap up, uh, for the audience, just a quick reminder that we are doing a live stream with Nuno, Eric, and Harris tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. India time. Do join us again tomorrow, where Vishal will be having a conversation with the esteemed guests. And for you, Shane and Simon, you guys, that is Native PHP Bifrost, are also gold sponsors for Laracon India 2026. So thanks a lot for supporting Laracon India. Uh, it is with the help of people like you, companies like you, that we are able to host Laracon India. So
A
thank you
pleasure.
very much.
Yeah.
And
You're
also,
welcome.
I know that with all your preparations going on and for a long trip to India and also time going into talk preparation, it must have been hard for you to take out time for this stream. So thank you very much, both of you.
Thanks
And
for having
everyone
us.
else who are watching us, thank you for attending this stream. Thank you for listening to these amazing speakers who will be live at Laracon India 2026 on January 31st and February 1st in Ahmedabad. Taylor Otwell is also speaking at the conference, and he will be giving us updates on Laravel and the much talked about Laravel AI SDK. So, anyone who is still sitting on the fence, please go and buy the tickets. Tickets are available at laracon.in. This is Asia's only Laracon. Don't miss it. See you all in Ahmedabad. Let's make history. Jai Hind. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.